On today's episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, we're going to look at the top 10 of the Charlotte Hornets all-time guards. It'll be point guard, shooting guard, and combo guard. Before we get into today's content, make sure you subscribe, folks. It doesn't cost anything. Pound that like button. Leave me some comments. I love the dialogue. And by all means, folks, hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos on the Hornets, Carolina Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes, and major college sports in North and South Carolina. All right, folks, kind of already did a video on the top 10 forwards in Charlotte Hornets / Bobcats history. So now we're going to kind of look at the top 10 guards of all time. Now, I got 3 honorable mentions. And you might look and say, wow, are they even on the list? Some people might go the other way, says they don't even belong on the list. But honorable mention number 3 is going to be Terry Rozier. I know the guy's just coming in, but man, he really at times last year, folks, winning us some games, made me feel like we didn't even miss Kemba. The guy's a player. I loved his game. He won some games for us. I guess the only reason why I don't have him in the top 10 is he just hasn't played here long enough. And I don't know how long his stay will be, whether we get rid of him through this year or he gets through this year and we even bring him back. But I wanted to throw out to Mr. Louisville, Terry Rozier. He's honorable mention number 3. Number 12, we're looking at a former Charlotte Bobcat, Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson played here, and other than Gerald Wallace, I thought Steven Jackson's game, maybe Ray Felton, was somebody who played well for the Bobcats. Really was a pretty good player for us overall. And, played for some terrible teams, of course, but at the same time, kind of got us that one-year playoffs where we got swept. Number 11 is none other than Devonte Graham, free agent we got from Kansas. He's played a couple of years for the Hornets, entering like year number 3, might be even year number 4. But Devonte Graham has played well. And like I said, if he had another year under his belt and he comes back, I think he'll definitely hit this top 10 list. Now, number 10 on this list is none other than the Charlotte Bobcat we had from the University of Texas, DJ Augustin. DJ Augustin was drafted by the Bobcats. He did well for us. Unfortunately, his game never translated to much more than that other than longevity, and I got him at number 10. Now, number 9 on this list is going to be one of the very first Charlotte Hornet players we had, which was Rex Chapman. Rex Chapman played for the original Charlotte Hornets out of Kentucky, and he was a great player, folks. The big thing with Chapman is he just never translated. He wasn't a big guard, but he was good enough to crack this list. He was a big-time scorer. Number 8. Number 8's game was well. He would have been higher on the list had the Charlotte Hornets stayed in Charlotte and not moved to New Orleans. And that's Baron Davis. Baron Davis, by the time his 3rd year rolled around in Charlotte, he was almost an all-star. He looked really good. But the problem, Baron Davis had to move on to New Orleans when the Hornets moved on. I don't include our history with the Charlotte NBA team. Therefore, I have him no higher than 8. Number 7 was one of the most electric players we ever had, folks, from the University of Illinois, Kendall Gill. Kendall Gill was a remarkable player, great athlete. If he'd have stayed longer, he'd have been higher. And I just loved his game. I really like him better than the guy I got number 6, but the problem is number 6 played a lot longer than Kendall Gill here, and his numbers were better. But I love Gill's game, and that's why he goes down number 7. He played 91 through 93, came back and played 96. Number 6 on the list, Gerald Henderson from Duke. He played 2010 to 2015. He was a great guard here. He just never really eclipsed what we thought he'd be. He never really could take on that role to be a great explosive player, but he did play long term. At one time, he was one of the better players that we had, but he also played for that lousy team for the Bobcats in 2011, 2012 that only, won like 7 games. Number 5. Number 5 is none other than Glenn Wesley. 1998 to 2005. Glenn Wesley was a great, not 2005, 2002, I'm sorry, because he would have moved on. Glenn Wesley played here. Really great player, great transition piece, was very instrumental in some good teams we had. He just never really could push over the edge of what we would have. And you look at Bobby Fields, when Fields was here, Fields didn't make the list. He got killed in that terrible car accident, racing with Wesley. But Wesley was a good player for us. Number 4 is where we get down to the nitty-gritty. And he was probably the best Bobcat guard we had, and that's Ray Felton from the University of North Carolina. He played for the Bobcats from 2005 to 2010. I'd rather would have had Chris Paul. Of course, the pedigree being from Carolina, he played well, but it just wasn't good enough. We moved him on to the Knicks from there. Now we get down to really the three best guards we had, and they're all on our Mount Rushmore, folks. Number 3, Mugsy Bogues. Played 1988, the first year basically that we had a team, all the way to 1998. Mugsy Bogues from Wake Forest. Great player, great assist man, led the team in steals, was but 5'3", wasn't hardly taller than anything, but the guy was a remarkable player. And anytime you get a mural up in the city of Charlotte, you know you've done something right. And he's number 3. Number two for a long time, had the long career for us, led the team in scoring until number 1 come along, but it's Virginia Tech's Dell Curry, father of Steph Curry. He played from 1989 to 1998. But Dell Curry was a remarkable ambassador. Only problem with Dell Curry, he didn't really start as many games. He came off the bench, but he was a true scorer in all fashion, folks. And then number 1 overall, folks, without a doubt, most beloved Hornet of all time, and was a Bobcat at one time, Kemba Walker from UConn. Played from 2011 to 2019. Led the team in minutes, led the team in points. I believe he led the team in three-pointers. He was Mr. Everything. And, of course, now he's moved on, went on to Boston. Now he's been traded to Oklahoma City. But got to give Kemba Walker as the best guard we've ever had. Maybe LaMelo Ball, and now that we've drafted James Bouknight, maybe those guys can crack the top 10. But for right now, Kemba Walker is the best we've ever had. So, folks, what do you think of today's video? Make sure you leave me some comments, pound that like button, hit that bell notification, and by all means, folks, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And we will see you on another episode of the Carolina Sports Guy.